The difference between today and tomorrow is that we should have our tiny homes on this foundation if all goes well. No way!
Oh yeah.
And it has been nothing but a tiring shit show for the last 4 or 5 months. Now, tomorrow is by no means anything like we're open, but as you can see here, we have 7 foundations starting from over there. So we got 1, 2, I'm standing in 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 in that very corner. The difference between today and tomorrow is that we should have our tiny homes on this foundation if all goes well. We got cranes, we got possibilities for shit to happen, of course, but we're gonna hope it doesn't. We've been beset by a lot of delays, a lot of angst, weather delays, just you name it, it's happened. We are working on cleaning up the touch-up on the building. Just give you a quick look at where we're at on that. We brought in 15 dump trucks full, actually 25 dump trucks full of dirt in the last 3 days, just to bring our ground level up and to get our foundations a little higher in the ground. Got most of our paint work done on this building. We're gonna work to try to finish it all up tonight. And we've got signs, stuff coming for this front of this building. So we will show you what tomorrow brings, and hopefully that's 7 tiny homes in a row on foundations. All right, so this is it. Big day has arrived. Got our first unit right here. This is our ADA unit. So we are still in rough draft process, but the fact that we're actually on foundations does feel like a huge milestone. We are, I guess, about 9 months into this process, really about 7 or 8 months since we really broke ground and started our demo. Hopefully plan on being open in 30 to 45 days, which still seems like a crazy task for where we're at this current moment. This is our laundry room coffee bar / wood workshop. But as you can see, we've got all our electrical in over here. We're just waiting for our electrician to wire this to the main box, which we will show you outside. We just got that in. We've got all our closed cell foam insulation in, which is a huge, big thing for us just for as far as overall weather, insulation, soundproofing. It's super expensive to close cell foam, but I think in comparison to fiberglass, it's worth the investment if it's something you're gonna do long term. I think one great thing about cell foam is just the fact that it really not only insulates everything, but it seals everything up. There was little cracks on the outside you could see the cell foam coming out of, but it also like makes your ceiling completely weatherproof. So rain, everything, I mean, when these guys shoot it, it's completely sealed in. So I know it's pretty dark in here, but yes, it's all sealed in. We shot it to 3 inches. So typically how it works for our value is if you shoot 3 inches, anything above that is pretty much not worth paying for. So we went basically with 3 inches all the way through everything. You can see, voila, we are in business. So we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got our 7 units all on foundations. So you can see this ground is still all what we call pit run, which is basically just rocks, dirt, nothing you could grow in. We're gonna gravel and landscape it. We just obviously haven't got to that point yet because we still have to trench for water, sewer, and electric. And those are the 3 biggest things that we did not account for having to do all over again when we bought the property. But here's our first unit, and if you kind of look at the formation of the units, we actually basically have them all pointing towards the main building, the Smokejumper building that you can see here. And the reason we did that was for Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is super challenging up here. You can see that we've got a Starlink on the front corner of the building there. We're still trying to dial that in and get that obstruction free, and we're not obstruction free, so we're having to figure that out. But basically we pointed them all kind of towards the main house just to give kind of I don't know, symmetrical feeling. And then the other reason we did that is, again, going through the glass to get to the Wi-Fi is much preferable than the back of the units or any other kind of layout that we could have done. And we kind of wanted to have a community feel that all kind of face out this way. And I'll just say, this has been super, super tough. I mean, there's just been so many things that we didn't know, should have known, maybe we wouldn't have known until we found out as we did going through the process. But I think our biggest challenge overall was just not knowing about the water table, and knowing that basically anywhere on this property, 12 inches to 24 inches were in water. So having to set these foundations like you saw in the B-roll and get them the right depths apart, the right width, and setting them literally in water, then having to fill the tops and level them. I mean, it was just super, super challenging. So, but we got it in, and they're level. All the houses are level. The doors all closed. That was a pretty scary thing. I was wondering if, once we got them on foundations, if they were all going to be level. They're all basically the same height on the lot. It just, you couldn't necessarily tell because we got high and low spots that we're going to have to fill in with gravel, etc. This Hollow Plus is the one that we've shown you several times. It's got the office that I've been working out of, etc. We'll show you the one that we haven't shown you before, and that's the ADA accessible, the handicap accessible unit. This is the only one that's different than the other 6. And this was kind of created as a one-off for us because where we're at, we wanted to have at least one handicap accessible unit. Obviously, you can see based on the height, we're gonna have to put ramps in and get it all right. But then we also put it so that it's really close to the coffee and laundry room, if you can see that sign right there. So basically we wanted to just make it, you know, for if it is, you know, again, handicap accessible, make it so that, you know, getting to wherever you need to go on the property will be pretty easy. This unit is just one open area, so you can see it is, maybe you can't tell from this video, but basically it is wider by about, I think it's a foot or so than the other units. So, but it really just has room for like a bed, nightstands, or a little desk, whatever. We'll have to figure it all out. But there is no loft bedroom like the other ones have. So as you can see, it's just one open entry area. Door's a little bit wider. The pocket door that opens here will bring into the bathroom. You can see the shower is all set, grab rails. So it is certainly super functional as far as the ADA is concerned. And again, we just wanted to make sure we offered that as one of our units in our project. But yeah, it's in a house tour, when it's 265 square feet, it takes like 6 seconds. So there you go. We have electrical from Idaho Power. The reason we had to do a new box versus the overhead that you can see up in that area is because when we went to demo the building, we had pretty low hanging power lines. So we called Idaho Power to remove them so we could do our demo. And then when they came out, they basically said, we're not gonna allow you to run overhead anymore. So we basically got forced into underground, which visually it's cool, but cost-wise, like, it's an insane amount of cost. So we spent $15,000 to have Idaho Power come in and just to put it in their box. But our real extra cost is gonna be all the conduit that we've got to run underground in this water table, make sure it's sealed up good with electrical running to each house. Will have obviously its own electrical panel that it'll feed. So that's next. Electrical, sewer, and water. We'll probably start with sewer. I'm gonna check out for a week. I'll be back, and hopefully we can get the sewer, electrical, and water going. And once we have that in, I will say it's gonna feel good. Then I'm gonna feel like we're really finally getting somewhere.